Well, hello and welcome to another Daily Dominion. It's Wednesday, so we have two expansions intermixed, and in this case it's Empires plus three cards from Cornucopia and Guilds, I believe. Now, Empires has this victory theme, and indeed we have a landmark, a Labyrinth with 12 victory point chips on it. And if we gain a second card during our turns, we take 2 of those victory chips. And then also, notably, there's Triumph. And Triumph allows you to gain a bunch of victory points if you manage to gain a bunch of cards during your turn. And that's sometimes really, really valuable and a nice way to come back, as long as there are estates left in the pile. But yeah, I'd say we look through this kingdom while I hide myself. So you can see that Candlestick Maker costs 2. And yeah, right here you cannot see much of the Encampment Plunder pile and also not much of the Castles pile, but the Castles are essentially 8 unique castles, and they are all worth some victory points and have different things that are going on. Notable is that Haunted Castle is an attack, more or less. Upon gain, you have your opponent top deck 2 of their cards on their hand. And yeah, what else? I don't know. They all play more or less nicely together with each other, but are victory cards, so they don't do that much for your deck. Note that with Labyrinth, it might be worth to go for Crumbling a bit earlier, maybe, just because it also gains your second card, but probably still, even if it's revealed early on, it's not worth going for. Now, apart from that, what do we have? We have trashing in Sacrifice and nothing else, so Sacrifice only trashing, but still should be alright. Then we have Enchantress for draw, and Encampment for draw, and also Herald for draw, also Patrician for draw. Encampment, notable is that you need to reveal a gold or a plunder, and plunder are those 5 cards below the encampments, in order for it to stick in your deck, otherwise it gets returned to the supply after your turn. Enchantress will nullify your opponent's first action played, and yeah, what else? Patrician can draw 5 or more cost cards. We're going to be having a few of them, like Baker, Legionary, seem like fine cards, a Plunder or a Gold. Actually, a Gold has a dual purpose here, with Encampment being able to reveal it, and with Legionary being able to reveal it to attack the opponent. So I think we're certainly going for a Gold at some point of the game, although the gold might come with a haunted castle. When you gain this during your turn, you gain a gold. So that might be a thing to go for. Villa is just a thing you can gain during your turns to return to your action phase and get an extra action, and that's really nice for terminal collision. So we can try to over terminal ourselves a tiny bit. And yeah, what else? Not too much, I guess. Yeah, I would say we look at the kingdom plot first, which looks as follows. I haven't really looked at this before, but the AltVP stuff is off the charts, essentially. Yeah, I mean, castles, labyrinth, triumph, plunders. There's a bunch of things that yield extra VP, and also sacrifice for estates can turn those into VP chips. Nice. And yeah, apart from that, thinning, draw, village, all is available and handily available. We need to note that Herald is a bit awkward with encampments, as you might reveal and play an encampment when you don't have a gold in your hand or a plunder in your hand, but nonetheless, I think Heralds are worth going for as a nice way to draw here, probably mixed with a few Enchantresses. We are aiming to get really thin first and only then bloat our deck with victory points, and yeah, just having a bit of agency to maybe go for a big triumph turn. Both Villa and Candlestick Maker are ways to have extra buys. And yeah, I'm not sure what else to tell you about this kingdom, so let's look at the openings. I think the best opening might be a sacrifice encampment, but also I can see sacrifice enchantress working out, because with enchantress you might be able to snipe your opponent's sacrifice, and that might be really, really good because they don't get to trash on the first reshuffle. And you could also go very risky and open double sacrifice, as we do have the Baker token, the extra coffers at the beginning of the game. But I'm not sure it's really worth it. Yeah, if they collide, you're in for a sad time. If the Enchantress and Sacrifice collide, you might get away with buying a villa, since you still have the Baker token. That might be possible then. And yeah, Encampment Sacrifice is essentially saying, okay, let's try to get through the first reshuffle, or guarantee to get through the first reshuffle unless we bottom deck both Encampment and Sacrifice. And Enchantress Sacrifice has the merit of doing the same if you find the Enchantress turn 3. So I'm not quite convinced what's better here. I think the Encampment Sacrifice is a bit safer. The other thing might be more valuable in slowing down your opponent. So what are we going for? Safe or risky? Let's play the risky thing and go for sacrifice Enchantress, and we might get punished for it immediately. Well, the sacrifice misses the shuffle, so maybe we just pick up another sacrifice, really. And yeah, this is really, really nice. We do get to play both of them and stick another encampment into the shuffle, right? We could also, instead of trashing both estates, we could trash a copper instead of and have 5 coins, which would enable us to buy villa encampment. But yeah, I mean, that's not really that enticing, I'd say. So let's pick up either another encampment or our second enchantress. And what's really nice here is that we've thinned out all of the estates already. And this will find the other enchantress and the sacrifice. So you get to hit 5 and could indeed go for Villa Encampment to snatch some of those Labyrinth points. The Villa could be fodder for sacrifice at first, but otherwise, maybe also getting a Legionary in already is a fine play, because that would mean we could buy gold soon-ish, and then... And then go for more encampments. Yeah, maybe getting a villa in, getting an encampment in is still the best thing to do, just because then the villa also will enable us to buy 2 encampments maybe on the same turn. Yeah, just like this. This is an amazing draw. And instead of 2 encampments, actually, I think just getting a gold here is better. And yeah, we will play this encampment for sure, whether we find the gold or not. It doesn't matter. Just because it's so much more valuable to get through this shuffle a bit. It's really, really annoying that we bottom deck the villa. Actually, what we can do here is buy a villa. And yeah, I think we buy a villa. My first thought was to just sacrifice it, but we can also just sacrifice another copper and regain an encampment that way. And yeah, we did get the Enchantress into play, and yeah, I think it's doing great work for us. It's yeah, look at this. It's getting our deck really thin, really nice and thin. We get to gain those 2 and probably just a Legionary or a Plunder to make it more likely that we that we keep drawing with these encampments, so we're not reliant on only finding the gold. Note that already the Enchantress in deck is a great way um, to ensure that we have a larger hand size at the beginning of our turn. And yeah, here we can just cantrip one of the encampments. I think we split the labyrinth points evenly, so it's also fine. And do we want to try to do some gain and play here? The last card, unfortunately, is the Plunder. And that means we cannot just play the gold by Villa Legionary. We're out of draw anyways. That wouldn't be possible anyways. So yeah, we might as well play this last encampment and no gain and play this turn, but it's fine. Pick up the Legionary, pick up an encampment, and probably just a Patrician with it. Maybe I should have thought about this a little longer, whether this could have been a Candlestick maker instead, but for now let's keep the deck lean. Pick up those last two Plunders probably, and just ensure that we, yeah, keep drawing and keep going. And here we might already be able to do some gain and play with Villa. Get to first attack AI, put these into play, play those, and buy Plunder and Villa and draw. And be pretty happy with that, right? If we do that, we will only have 3 though, so maybe we want to add a copper that we can sacrifice. And now, yeah, we have the Villa, play the encampment, which will draw the Plunder, and just sacrifice a copper, end our actions, and we have 6. And can just go for the last Plunder and have a rather reliable and nice deck. Let's see, maybe we won't draw this turn as we have added quite a lot of treasures. But yeah, also AI is going for Legionary now. We should probably cantrip the Sacrifice, not the Patrician, just to make it more likely that we find something nice. And yeah, here probably kill off a Villa just to have a proper turn. And yeah, keep playing those. Again, we can do some gain and play stuff, which sounds really nice. If we do that, we don't want to play everything though. And what do we want to gain and play? Probably just an Enchantress. The last card down there, I believe, is a Villa. So no, we have played 2 and we have trashed 1, so it's not a Villa. Is it a... It's not an encampment, it's not the other It's the other sacrifice, right? No, we've played both. What is the last card? I'm stupid. Right. And the question for me is just whether it's a draw card or not. Is it a villa? Do we have 4 villas? Did we have 4 villas before trashing one? Man, I'm completely silly and stupid apparently. But, well, we get to pick up maybe Enchantress. Could be even another gold, although that might be a bit on the greedy side. Or just a baker, to be honest. And yeah, keeping the deck lean. And then a villa. Play the encampment. And what was the other card that we drew? Ah, we have 4 encampments. Wow, I was pretty sure we only had 3 encampments. But oh well. It's not too much of a matter. And Yeah, I guess we can even go for a triumph. Why not? Some extra victory points, which the sacrifice will eat one of the estates. We will draw 4 cards next turn. Hopefully, do another Enchantress gain and play thing, and yeah, be on with our turn. 4 victory points. It's nice to stay ahead of AI here, so no surprise pileouts can happen somehow. But yeah, with the encampment split secured as much as we have, and also the AI only having Legionary without the gold pairing, yeah, I think I would be really surprised if we lose this. Although those are famous last words, I know that. Um, let's see, let's probably play the encampment here. The Patrician could pick up a 5 or more cost potentially. Although we might just want to gain and play an Enchantress anyways. What's the last card? Let's just play the Baker. Ah, it's a Legionary, of course. Yeah, play the Legionary. Then end our actions. We don't need to make sure that we have all of these around. Pay off the debt. And now by Enchantress, maybe just more Baker and Villa. Maybe a copper actually, although no, then we are not guaranteed to draw. Let's go for the Villa. Draw here. Play the sacrifice for nothing and pick up. What do we pick up? I guess Candlestick Maker Triumph. Also adding an extra buy for next turn is nice. Not pay off any of the debt, and yeah, it's just important that we have those 2 Enchantresses in play to enable us to have a great start of the next turn. And yeah, I mean, this isn't the fastest playthrough ever, but it is a safe playthrough for sure. Probably just want to cantrip either Candlestick Maker or Villa. Candlestick Maker is worth less. There is a gold in our hand, so we can play encampments. We might want to sacrifice another Enchantress here, because if we draw everything, I mean, we might not have enough money to pile out, but we will for sure have enough to pile villas and maybe get a few estates. So, are we playing for another turn, or are we aiming for a pile out? I'm not sure. Yeah, 12 money for just the villas, plus the 5 money to pay off, plus then at least 10 money for the estates. I'm not sure we have it in us, so let's sacrifice a villa, actually, and keep drawing. There are 2 bakers down there, so Patrician should be fairly likely to hit. Very nice. And yeah, we do get to do some gain and play stuff. Like, and now we're exactly 1 buy off of an emptying Enchantresses and villas, but that's our own fault for not playing for that thing. Let's see what we do. Well, we wouldn't have had enough money anyways. I mean, the 3 villas is not 12 money, but rather 9 money. But yeah, yeah. Should have trashed the Enchantress maybe, then we might have been able to empty Enchantresses. But yeah, I don't think the money was there. Now, what do we do instead? Maybe we just add yet another Enchantress. Maybe a humble castle. And go back to the villa. We can trash the humble castle even for victory points and money. And yeah, thus have enough to do 2 triumphs. I think that's best. And just go for that, pay off the debt, and go for it again. And we're so far ahead in victory points that I would be incredibly surprised if AI was able to pile out this turn and also win. Yeah, and we kept it in check pretty well with the Legionary attacks. I think that's one of the main differences between our decks. Also, we got ahead on the encampment stuff and the trashing stuff early. I think our shuffles early on worked out quite well. But also, I like the double sacrifice thing. I mean, okay, the early shuffles didn't work out perfectly, to be honest. Like, the first shuffle was pretty garbage. Our sacrifice missed the shuffle. We only got to play the Enchantress turn 4, so let's not play all of them yet. We might want to sacrifice one, although sacrificing Candlestick Maker is probably better. And now we stall, but we have 5 buys. This should be a win, right? Guess we play this as well. 11 money, 5 buys. This, I'm not counting it out yet. So we buy 1 estate, triumph for the second, pay off the debt, and triumph for the last. No, of course we can maximize our victory points a bit. So let's triumph here. Okay, and triumph again for 68 victory points and a very satisfying 3-pile. But still, 16 turns is long, but then also the thinning wasn't great. We had to try to fit the Legionary attack in. Encampment stuff is always a bit weird to work around. I'm a bit surprised we didn't go for the Heralds that much, but there was just not really any incentive to fit them in. We didn't need the actions from revealing stuff, and also, yeah, Enchantresses were just much better, increasing our starting hand size, and we had abundant actions. And yeah, the increased starting hand size, of course, better for lining up encampments and plunders. I can see this go Ori if you lose the encampment split, so don't do that probably. But if AI does not go for a gold and you get to Legionary attack at every turn, and yeah, I think you should be pretty golden. Also, we bought 3 coppers, so that's something to 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 brag about to your friends. Well, I think that wraps up the playthrough. You've seen the decks now, and I will try to catch you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.